this populate. So, all right, I think things are working. So I'm going to start the live right now. Okay, so, um, all right, so welcome to day 7 of my journey from ten to $20,000 a month to $100,000 a month wholesaling real estate. Quick honesty check. Today's promise was 10 live seller conversations and 5 offers. Morrison notes, thank you so much. I appreciate it. Hey, thanks, bro. Um, and let's see. Aggressive follow up on everyone that we had sent a contract to, and to get one contract signed at least. And so what actually happened was is that I had 5 conversations today. I had 0 offers, and I did follow up with some of the people that I had sent contracts to, but I did not get any contracts signed. So no new leads, no revenue today. So the promise was not kept. I still had real wins, but I'm not going to pretend like I didn't hit the target. So the segment number 1 of today is, you know, 0 new leads, 5 live conversations, 0 offers, 0 contracts, and 0 revenue. And most of my time went to follow up with agent and buyer conversations, scheduling photos, and a little bit of system building. Segment number 2 today is basically um, s- s- so segment number 2 is building a buyer agent sales process, right? So it's a big win today. I finally stopped winging my buyer agent conversations, and up until now, when agents called me in my deals that I have on the MLS, I just kind of freestyled. Today, I built a buyer agent sales process, a standard, question set for when agents first call, a follow up test to send right after they walk the property, and a post walk call script to pull honest feedback and see what it would take to get an offer. So I tested it today. I had an agent walk through one of my properties. I followed the process exactly. She literally thanked me for my responsiveness and attention to details. So that was great. So takeaway: having a real process for agents and not winging it makes you look like a pro, and keeps deals moving instead of dying quietly. So basically, what that means for me is like, especially since I'm focusing a lot on innovations right now, because you know, I just have the ability to have better conversations with the buyer's agents, and a lot of them are not trained. They're not trained to have conversations with the listing agents. They don't build rapport, and to be honest, just from my experience doing deals, a lot of them really just it's kind of like there's a distance, and really we should be working together to get this done. And so my goal, has been to really try to get that sales process so that we're working together. So that's pretty much what I did today. I figured it out and I tested it. So I'm glad I got it good. So anyway, segment number 3. So my team member Santi, who's my setter slash, he's becoming a closer. We had a one-on-one call, and basically what I did today is that I asked him. So recently, I noticed he had been down for a little bit, and I was like, what, what's the reason? Like, what's going on? And so he said basically that, because he had moved to Medellin for a little bit, he had been experiencing a little bit of just he wasn't in the best living conditions. Like, he didn't have a fridge and stuff, and so that affected his eating, and obviously, it affected his performance. So, anyways, he's gonna be going back to his old house, and yeah. But besides that, I digged a little bit deeper. I was like, is there anything that's concerning you about me and the company? And so he basically said that, you know, um, there was one thing, since we were working to get more deals, and he was now taking starting to take on like a bigger role, which is, close some of these deals. He asked if he could have a bigger base or commission, right? And I said that, I told him what his growth path was. I said, yes, um, you can move up, your commission. If you become a closer and you start closing constantly and training for it and all that, you can basically double your commission than what you're making right now, as a setter. So, um, anyway, besides that, there's two things that I learned that I will be implementing into my one-on-one calls, and that's basically asking them always, my team, right, my setters, my closers, what new deals did you put in the pipeline since we last talked, right? And so obviously we have ways of tracking this in the CRM, right? Hey, what's up, new YouTube user? Um, so their goal is to really, just come to the table with something, right? And so, and then from then, the second question I ask is like, from these opportunities that you put on the table, which are advanced to a warmer stage, right? And so this keeps the culture, in check, because we're here to make, results, right? We're here to um get contracts, get revenue, help sellers, right? And so those things are important. And so the lesson is that, having a clear development plan for my team is important. Um, and then segment number 4 today is cutting photo costs without cutting quality. So I needed some photos for a property that I'm going to be listing on the market, and I use HomeJab.com. They're a great company. They'll go and they'll basically schedule a shoot anywhere, and they'll bill you for it. So they charge, I think it's 195 per shoot. They give you 25 to 30 photos, and the thing is that, if the property is not in a major city, usually they charge you for travel time for the photographer, and this could be expensive. So, for example, for this property that I was going to get photos for, they wanted to charge me like $130 extra on top of what I was paying. So 195 plus 130 just to get the photographer out there. And I thought it was ridiculous, especially because in the past I have negotiated them down quite a bit. Like they always start off at like 120, and I'm like, no way, like I'll do like 30, and then we end up at 50, right? And so I've done that before, and so I know that their travel time is not set, and so basically, sorry guys. Okay, so anyway, so yeah, so I know that that's important, right? To cut costs, right? And so, so yeah, so basically, they wouldn't go down on this shoot, and so I was like, listen, like I'm just gonna refund, I'll find someone else. And so, what I did is that I used Facebook to find a photographer. So, this is a tip that you got to use. And so, whenever you're doing a deal that's kind of rural, um, usually the town has a Facebook group, and so all you have to do is Google the town on, no, just put the name of the town on Facebook, and you'll find the Facebook group, and everybody hangs out there. And so I posted on two different Facebook groups that had the town name, and basically within like a couple of hours I had like 8 recommendations of like different photographers. And so I called them right away, and I talked to a few, and they were really good photographers. And so I was able to get one for, I think he's charging me like 125 plus $15 of travel, which is, it's not a lot. And he's gonna do drone footage. He's gonna do, photographs, and he's gonna do some Photoshop, to it. And so it's a great deal. And so that's a pretty big tip right there. I learned that today. I use Craigslist to find people, right? But Craigslist has, like, they have only certain towns or certain demographics, right? And so if the town is far away from any of the you know listing sites for Craigslist, then Facebook groups are great. And so that was a really good tip today that I learned. And so tomorrow's 100K promise, right? So tomorrow I'm tightening up my promise with inputs again. So my goal is to have 10 live seller conversations, 5 offers, and follow up with direct follow up with you know everyone that's in the contract sent with the goal of at least getting um, one move closer to signed, right? And so that's pretty much it. So if you want to see the real climb from $10,000 to $20,000 a month to $100,000 a month wholesaling real estate, including days like this where I miss the target but upgrade a little bit of the machine and have more admin tasks, follow and subscribe and turn notifications on for day number 8. And if you're already doing $50,000 a month or more wholesaling real estate and you're open to an interview about what's working, DM me the word podcast and we'll connect. So, anybody listening here till the end, I appreciate you. And yeah, good luck. I'll see you.